Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today is everyone's favorite ignoramus. It's Seamus. How are you doing over there, Seamus?
Of every ignoramus you've ever met, I've got to be up there in your at least upper echelon of ignoramuses that you get along with. How are you? Good to be
I'm
back.
doing well. Doing well. I'm glad you're back too. We got so apologies for the late start because we were talking about Boston and all its local geography.
We
You know,
were.
talking Worcester as they that's so funny to me. I love it. Everyone does it too. And if you don't know about Worcester, then you don't know. Seamus, I know all about Rosendale. Come on.
Yeah. Now, what's going on with you, Jose? Now, I was trying to get into it a little bit with you backstage, and we thought it would be a good opportunity for a little bit of banter here on the show
Sure.
to understand what your connection is to Boston. Because as far as I know, you're not from Roslindale, are you?
No, I'm also not from Waltham either.
You're very well versed. You could fool me. So what's the deal?
Well, I grew up in Virginia, born in Venezuela, as everyone know. Unfortunately, I'm not a Peabody guy, but it's actually pronounced Peabody.
Peabody.
Yeah, I hear. It's such a fun thing about the English language. I love. But I grew up in Virginia, and the minor league team. And we were talking about Worcester. The minor league team was my single A Salem Red Sox.
Yes.
So I got to see my guy Mucky Betts grow up, and I remember very clearly Xander Bogaerts being in single A, and my friend being like, he's one of the Red Sox top prospects. We got to get his autograph. And I was like, we don't need to get it. He'll be here for a while.
Yeah, right.
And he's gone like the next week and gone into the majors the next day. So shout out to them. So yeah, I've always been growing up around the Red Sox. They were the Houston Astros affiliate for a little bit as well when I was growing up. Shout out to Cody Clemens, whichever Clemens it was that I had a lovely meal with when they were the Astros.
Oh, right, yeah, Cody Clemens. I remember him.
Yeah, there's a shitload of them, Seamus. They're all K or C names, whatever they're spelling it too. So shout out to Roger.
But you didn't bounce at some Irish pub out in Billerica or anything, did you? Like you don't have that much of a.
No, I've been to Boston a collection of one time in my life. I've been to Boston, and it was fun. I went to the 2 Red Sox games. I remember very clearly, actually, Yoenis Cespedes hitting a walk-off in one of them. Shout out to him in his short Red Sox career. I was very excited for the Cespedes Red Sox run. And the second game in that little doubleheader, they're both against the Orioles. The second game, Clay Buchholz pitched like 8 innings of no hit or no earned run game there. It was a good shutout for him. So shout out to Clay Buchholz too.
So it's strictly baseball related, your connection to Boston. You didn't date some chick from like Peabody.
No, I wish. I hope Helga doesn't hear this. I hope Helga doesn't hear this. But when I hear some Boston accents, it goes 6 to midnight immediately, Seamus. It's gonna be tough when I'm in Boston. I'm gonna hear these accents. I'm like, oh my god.
So, oh my god, kid. Are you fucking serious? That kid's retarded.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, oh, that's so hot. All right, Helga. You might have to.
Did I just get you worked up?
Yeah, I'm a little sweaty now. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll throw a little ice on it. Let's jump into the 640 game so that the folks that are trying to get bets in that just can't make a decision until they hear from Seamus Ignoramus and Jose Bouquett get what they so deserved.
Well, you're right about that, Seamus. And we're officially on 100 watch because, Seamus, welcome into the Elite 90s. Welcome into Say Hey 91.
Say 91 milestone.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Any 91s that you remember off the top of your head? Because I don't.
I'll tell you, man. This is a show we're going to look back on and say, I remember the 91st show.
Yes.
And how special it was. Let me see if we can do it justice. Let's jump right into it. Here's a guy that he pitches a little bit better than we can, and Shohei Ohtani.
Debatable.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen your splitter yet, but I'll tell you what, his is borderline unhittable. It is.
You're right about that, especially for the Red Sox, because Red Sox hitters in general cannot hit splitters, and that's why I think I might have a very much of bias towards my man Ohtani here. I was on our friend Jimmy the Bag show, and I told him I took Ohtani first 5 minus a half minus 120 for me. So I love Ohtani. I think he'll. And yesterday was his birthday. Fun fact, Seamus.
Wow, I did nothing for his birthday.
I did because it was Venezuelan Independence Day. So I celebrate. Yeah, exactly. I celebrated it as such, as one does. But yeah, no, I think Ohtani.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that Ohtani's been dominant in his last couple of starts too. No one runs in either of his last two. Trevor Rogers is a mystery to me, like I've mentioned. 1 earned run against the Nationals last time out, and 3 earned runs against the Mets, and 4 in the third inning, 7 hits, 5 Ks, 1 walk. So I didn't have any. Well, besides my first 5 minus a half, I didn't have anything else on this game. I think it'll be interesting for sure, and I'm pretty surprised this total is sit at a 7. Truthfully,
well, it's. I'll say this: I have a lean to the first 5, LA. So that's a good sign. So we correlate there. I didn't make the play, and I'll tell you where my hesitation is. The Angels are just dismal in terms of run production. 5 runs over the last 4 games. They're like 37 and 45 on the money line. It's a losing bet, and there's no other way to play this game really, unless you're going to do like a -1. I think we're kind of out of that range now that it's pumped up to about -170. So you're going to take a run line with a team that's not scoring runs. I want to fade the Angels, but I'm not doing it against Shohei. He's just so dominant. Lean to the 7 under, but that's also too short of a number as well. Don't really know what I'm getting with Rogers. He's walked 11% of the batters he's faced. So, an LA blowout could happen, even though they haven't been scoring runs. Certainly this could be an opportunity for the middle of that order to get going. I just don't have a feel on it, so no play for me.
Well, Jake Burns also likes the under as well. Viper MB saying the Angels can't hit a beach ball, which, I'd say generally I agree with, but these last 2.5 weeks, they're 15th, 110 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So average will take right now. And I'm just hoping for, just give me 2 runs for Ohtani, whether he drives them in himself or not. Your ghost door just opened up. I love it. I love this. This is going to be.
Hey, all right. Great. You want to be on TV? Look at it. We're on the Say Hey show. For those that forget, this is my daughter Eleanor.
Hello,
she doesn't know that much about sportsbook wagering.
What does she know about Shohei Ohtani? That's the real question.
What do you know about Shohei Ohtani? Not enough. Not enough to be dangerous. But I got a funny feeling if she picked, she'd get it right.
I'd probably agree with you. Beginner's luck is a thing. Let me tell you right now, Seamus, you guys have the same eyebrows.
We look very similar. She's a little cuter.
I like that. I debate that. I think you're a little cuter, Seamus. I'll admit it.
You want to see cute? Go get me Bogey. You mentioned Xander Bogaerts.
Oh,
he just got a puppy. And after Xander Bogaerts, he's having himself a little drink right now, but we'll have him on the show later on. I'm bringing the cuteness for you, Jose.
Thank you. You know what? I will admit, Say Hey 91, the cutest show of the 91. See, there we go. A perfect. Now the Red Sox can't lose today. Bogey's in the house. Oh my gosh, the cuteness levels are skyrocketing here.
Bogey agrees. I think the Red Sox are a good play tonight. But
thank you, Bogey. I appreciate Bogey, and I appreciate Eleanor's appearance on the show. I love this.
Yeah,
these are all the things you get with Say Hey plays. You get the plays, you get the cuteness, you get the puppies, you get it all. You get it all.
You really can't go wrong.
So you know what? While we talk about the cuteness and the puppies, I'd like to talk about the cuteness that is Graham Ashcraft and the Reds as well. Oh my goodness! And by the way,
there's not a lot of cuteness with a guy whose name sounds like, crack, something crack.
Well, the Ashman, as we call him, Graham here, he is quality on his given day. When I think of you, you're a top or a bottom. You're an Ashman or not. I say I'm the Ashman.
Ellie, leave.
By the way, shout out to Victor Abud who gave us 500 Mexican 500 pesos is a skull.
Wow.
So shout out to you, my man. Love the Spurs shirt. We'll be fighting Liverpool and City this year. Come on, you Spurs. Victor, I also agree with you. I think that's a third place club you got here at Spurs. So hopefully Kane stays happy and Son keeps scoring. So shout out to you, my guy, for that nice dono.
That's
But
excellent.
as I'm about to cough here, Seamus, I'd like to know your thoughts on the Reds and the Mets here.
So this one, massive line move to the Mets from 135 to 167, pushing that out of money line range. This total opened up 9.5. It's now sitting at 10. And the Mets are hot. They're hot. They're off winning a series versus Texas. They've only allowed 4 runs over the last 2 games. Pitching staff's been there. They just dropped a game to Cincinnati, so they're in rebound mode right now. I don't see them losing 2 in a row. I actually do have a play on this game. I think the Reds, they're off losing a series to Atlanta, allowing 14 earned runs over the last 2 games. Mets can definitely rake. 4.8 runs per game, hitting 256 as a team, good for 4th overall. And Peterson's been excellent. 5-1, 3.24 ERA, 1.20 WHIP. Versus the Reds in last place. NL Central, cold as hell, is all hell, allowing 28, or the 28th most runs per game at 5.52. Ashcraft getting blown up for 7 runs in his last start. I see Mets all over this. I'm on the Mets run line official play.
How lovely. By the way, 500 pesos is $24. So I appreciate you, my guy, Victor. As always, any donation we love here. So shout out to you, my guy. And yes, I put the Buy Me a Coffee link in the link or in the description, the comments, whatever you want to call it. So you guys can donate as well to Pub Sports Radio's future Atlantic City trip. So that is fun. That is very fun. Cannot wait. I don't have anything on this game, honestly. I don't hate your Mets look at all. I think the Reds are just a bad ball club at the end of the day. And it's kind of, how long is Graham going to pitch this well? How long is he going to do it? He got blown up his last start. Is he going to back it up here and pitch well again? I'm not sure. But I appreciate the sentiment and thought of Graham coming out here and pitch. And by the way, shout out to our mutual friend, DX Filer, a.k.a. Steen. So shout out to Steen as well.
What's up, Steen? What's going on, guy? My favorite professional poker player, the Magic Man, Gamble Steen.
And by the way, it's World Series of Poker time around here, isn't it? Huh?
It is getting to be that time. You headed there, DX? What's the scoop? You going out and playing some big tournaments? I know he's got the bankroll. Definitely got the bankroll, taking suckers' pants down for a living, night in and night out.
I love sucker.
Mm-hmm. Yep, taking square players like us to the cleaners. But
I would love to see my man Steen in the World Series of Poker in a Pub Sports Radio shirt. Just mainline that right here into my veins, please and thank. By the way, Steen introduced me to some lovely people recently, and actively trying to get me on Fox News. I see. I think. Especially with you, Seamus, you'd understand. I think they'd be very welcoming and receptive of my skin color. There, I think they would really like that.
They would love your political views. I think it would make for some very good TV, some good and interesting back and forth. I'll hold my breath for that day. You and Tucker Carlson having it out. Talking about walls and guns and
Shohei Ohtani is the face of baseball, Tucker. And he's like, no, it's Aaron Judge. Oh man, there we go. It'd be great. I can't wait. Steen hooking it up every day. Shout out to Steen at all. Oh my gosh, shout out to Steen. Very funny. But let's talk about Cardinals Braves here. An interesting matchup because we've got my second favorite lefty in the league, Max Fried. A.K.A. Mr. Gokster, because he also does look like Mr. Gokster. Mr. Gokster does look like Max Fried. People are saying.
I'm not seeing that. I'm gonna have to take a closer look at Max Fried now that you're.
Imagine him with just like overalls, like some denim overalls.
Is that what Bogey is? Is he kind of a hick?
No. Well, he was wearing boots. He was wearing boots when I saw him, but no. No, I don't think so. No.
He seemed like he had the best time in San Antonio. Am I wrong? It just seemed like he was glowing out there.
He was, and then he got a reality check really quickly when he called our waiter buddy, and then the waiter was like, all right.
Jimmy told me about this. Yeah. That day, Jimmy and I had a bit that we were working on. He was like, yeah, Gogi getting really damn close to getting his ass kicked today for saying Bud. I was like, they sound a little uptight over there. I don't know. I don't think that's a Gogi problem. I think it's whoever the hell he's saying Bud to. That's a pretty worldwide accepted form of a term of endearment. But I like him. He seems like a really upbeat character. Too bad I didn't get to hang out with you guys.
Yes, Gokster. I love Gokster to death. An interesting character, a warrior. Let me tell you, Seamus, he's the kind of guy that wants to get to the airport like 5 hours in advance.
I don't blame him nowadays. I'll tell you, you need to get there a day in advance.
Well, in Canada especially, but you know. This show is. I love where this show goes when you're on, Seamus. I love it. We go everywhere.
Not any baseball at all, but I will tell you what picks I'm on. You know, I'm not going to spare you the pertinent details, but you're going to get a little extra. Dogs, babies, you know.
So yeah. Hey. Well, and by the way, just to calm Cheshire Cat's nerves, I am in fact not going on Fox News. Those are all jokes. Those are all jokes. Don't you worry. Again,
I don't know. I think you might. That might be groundbreaking television. I would stay on if you have a lead to get on something that even an outlet as egregious as Fox News. I think you take it.
Oh man, you know what? It would take me a while. It'd take me about 25 minutes, but I would say no, unfortunately. Okay. Cheshire Cat, I'm going to answer your question about Max Fried. Why are we fading Max Fried again? I did it last time at it when I took a shitty team total against him. And it was the Reds. He went 1 earned run, dominated. And I learned my lesson. Hey, he's really good right now. He's on a heater. But the Cardinals against lefties in the last 2.5 weeks or so, since the 19th of last month, 8th against lefties, 127 weighted runs created plus. And the Braves are 6th, 123 weighted runs created plus against righties. So I actually was looking towards the over as I look at Sam Coleman's first 5 under 4.5. In there. I was actually looking towards the over here. I think both these offenses can get to both these pitchers. I took the Cardinals team total over 3.5 at -120.
I love to hear it. So you're on the Cardinals money line.
Cardinals team total 3.5.
I am on the full game money line. I think that there's excellent line value here on Michaelis. He's got excellent numbers versus the Braves. 2.61 ERA over 20 in 2/3 innings. I think they're eager to avoid being swept here. I just think it's a good spot. And the line move agrees. Opened up 185. It's been trending down. It was 170 earlier. I think it's continuing to drop. I grabbed the Cards at 145. I think the Sharps continue to pound the dog here. It's a really good line value play. I think you make plays like this, you almost bet them blind, right? I mean, you can go 1-1 and win money here. So you definitely fill the card up as many of these, plus 150-ish type plays where you're seeing, much closer to 50-50, chances. I really lean to St. Louis to win this game outright.
Jimmy said kind of the similar thing. He said the same about this game, and then another game we'll talk about later. Kind of a meaty underdog that you can kind of sink your teeth in, and if it goes 1-1, you're cashing. You're cashing.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, it's excellent for your bankroll diet. Just continue to find these because there's so many of them, right? That's how you play baseball and sportsbook. You look for these plus money opportunities and you offset some of these heavy run lines that you end up taking with those, and it really levels you out nicely, even if you're not a big winner.
You said it perfectly there. See, we can do both. We can talk the card, we can talk the baseball, and we can make funny jokes too. We can make the ha-has and we can make people laugh.
Well, there's also a pretty heavy story that we were going to get into as well, surrounding my son's Little League.
Oh, fuck yes. I almost forgot about that. We'll talk about it at the end of the show.
Let's save that for the end. Folks, if you want to throw up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit in your mouth when you hear an egregious story about a parent going a little too far to help his kid win a Little League game, then stick around, because I have been in the front and center in the brass, you would say, of our Little League for the last almost decade. I've seen it all, but I thought I'd seen it all, but now I really have seen it all. So stay tuned.
I am genuinely very excited because I've had my own little league things as well, being the Hispanic person in Roanoke, Virginia, with a little league full of everyone else being white. It's very interesting. It makes for very interesting television, and that's why I'm very excited for this, and I'm very excited about this next game, Seamus.
All right, let's talk about these Yankees, huh? Can they potentially lose a game?
The Yankees. Oh man, I'm excited for this game. Though truthfully, I looked at the schedule tomorrow and I realized, oh shit, Red Sox Yankees starting tomorrow.
That's right.
That's going to be very interesting, to say the least. But truthfully, I think this is another Pirate spot, guys. I think. Well, first of all, that's not going to be a surprise coming from me because I am the preeminent Pirates guy. I've got my Red Sox. My Red Sox are my prime son that I bring out there. I show everyone off. And then I've got my little stepson in the Pirates that I love, but I keep him down in the basement. We'll keep him down in the basement, and we'll work out for a while.
Nobody has hoisted the Jolly Roger more than my good friend Jose Bouquett. I'll tell you, man, this guy is a pirate, thick and thin. He's even more of a pirate than Johnny Depp. He really is. He is all in on the peg-legged Pirates. And I have to agree, Pirates have won, 4 of their last 6, and they've come off upsetting the Yankees last game. The only thing is you might look at this as kind of a flat spot, right? They weren't expected to win the last time. I think maybe they're feeling themselves a little bit, might come into this a little bit loosey-goosey. I don't know. It's hard for me to fade a team. Just to put it in perspective, Boston went 20-5 in June and lost ground to the Yankees. That's how good the Yankees are. It's just not a team I look to fade, but how do you argue, that there's not line value here? What are you getting on the full game money line? Only because I didn't take it and I don't have it in front of me.
Well, I'll tell you, Seamus, I unfortunately do not have the cojones to take the full game money lines anymore. I'll tell you this. I have not bet the money line for the Pirates since the Dodgers series.
Okay.
But every day I've taken their team total. Every day. Well, not every day, but it's been every day for the last couple of days. I took a 2-3 day break, and then it was 5 more days of it. But yeah, it's been betting on it almost every day. I took the 3.5 already. And Mr. Pussy Coffee, as I call him, Twate Latte. And I'm glad Eleanor is not in the room for that because that's a vulgar name.
No, she wouldn't want to know anything about Pussy Coffee. Not at this age.
Well, he does, Mr. Twate Latte does. And he alerted me Pirates team total in the first 5 innings over 1.5.
Wow. Okay. I can get behind that. Now, what are you getting on the team total? What is that?
3. Let me double check. The 1.5 I just bet for -115. That is an official play for me. I bet the 3.5 last night. I got a +110, and currently I've got a 3.5 +115. So there you go.
I don't hate that. I wish you luck. I don't have a good enough feel to. I might just blindly tell you because you've been so hot on this, but I don't have enough of a feel to speak to it at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you this. I did look. Well, I have not looked officially, but I looked and saw a Reds beat writer kind of tipping off that there's going to be a Pirates doubleheader in the future against the Reds. And if the Reds are the next team the Pirates play, in fact, I'm going to be a little concerned about how high the team totals are going to be. I do not love taking the 4s and 4.5s, like I've said plenty of times. But 3, 3.5, 1.5, first 5, sure. I
love those under first 5, 4.5s. Those are nice spots where you can find them, especially if you can catch it. As the sharps start hitting that, those high 9.5s and bringing those down to 9, you start seeing, the 4.5s, unjuiced 4.5s and 5s. If you can get in early on those, I think some of those are maybe the most valuable bets that you can make, depending on the spots.
I'll say this. Ouroboros is mentioning that DraftKings has a Big Apple special for both New York teams to win, so one of them are going to lose. I 100% agree with that sentiment too. Like that's the kind of stuff that always tips me off. Like I'm not gonna bet on the teams that they have the special on.
I love these conspiracy angles. I like that. So they're
I'm
only going to use
fitting
it
into
for
Fox
promotion.
really nicely.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they are sitting in the driver's seat of the sports book world right now. They've got the market cornered. I don't think they mind giving away a couple extra bucks, but I like your angle. I like this out of the box thinking that we have here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to Wallaby King, who's been tailing the Pirates bets. I don't have the updated record now, but I think I'm around, as of like 2 days ago, it's 18-8 on the Pirates just bets this year. So I love them. I love them so much. When you got Jaylen Brown playing shortstop for you, it really just warms my tummy and makes me want to bet you more. So Pirates team total over 3.5, first 5 team total over 1.5. Shout out to Mr. Tuate Latte for alerting me about that, adding it officially to my card as well. And today might be either catastrophic day or a great day because we've got 8 plays on the card today. So
I'll say this: the Pirates definitely have value offensively. You know, as they begin to kind of settle into things with O'Neal Cruz making waves, and who's that other dude there, Sawinski and Hayes. I mean, these guys they're starting to rake, right? So you got a little bit of that under the radar value at the moment. Not a lot of people betting the Pirates team total over. So I may tail you there.
Well, thank you very much. You got to ride the wave of the pirate ship. It is a fun wave. Next game on our slate, and we're halfway done now officially, 30 minutes in. Look at that. Perfect timing by us.
The dogs and kids and stories, we're still making wonderful time. Look at us
we're doing a great job here. I'm just buzzing and waiting for that story. I'm very excited.
Oh, I can't wait to tell it.
We've got Orioles Rangers here. Otto versus Spencer Watkins, who Spencer Watkins been on a heater recently and is so much of a heater that I don't want to take either side in this game. The Rangers are 8th against righties the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Again, it's since the 19th, so it's about 2.5 weeks. 117 weighted runs created plus. So I just don't want to get in front of that. And Spencer Watkins has been pitching well, so I don't want to. This is one of those things. This is a bum fight. In Camden Yards, I would lean towards the under here, especially after that high-scoring game last night, a very drunk game last night. But I don't want to move on it because Glenn Otto also. When you've got a great nickname like Glenn Otto Fade, that's just too much. I can't back you like that. I can't. If I get tweets after saying you bet on Auto Fade, bro, like come on.
That's good. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Omicron variant. Have you heard of that? Omicron, I believe it's the only one.
Oh no! Funny. I was in the bathroom and I peed. And I didn't wash my hands. I walked out and I heard this just little voice in the back of my head, like kind of laughing.
It was like,
yeah. It kind of sounded like that. It was weird.
Sounded like that. Well, let me tell you something. Omicron is a very scrappy variant, and he latched on to Glenn Otto some time ago, kind of whooped his ass, and since he's been back from COVID, he's suffering a little bit of that Lucas Giolito syndrome, where he's having a little bit of that COVID long hauler effect, and has not been able to be effective at all. And you combine that with this line move. Take a look at this. Opened at minus 145. Bookmakers really expecting Texas, to be right about that value, and the sharps jumped all over it. It is completely flipped. It's a 50-cent move now. We're talking about minus 114 to the Orioles. I grabbed the O's at minus 108 before it got too crazy. Wouldn't want to lay an extra 6 cents or anything, but Orioles are 16-14 the last 30 games. You say they're in last place. Well, they have the best record of any team in last place, and to their credit, or in their defense rather, they're competing with the New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Jays, Rays. I mean, it's nonsense. Every great team is in the AL East, so cut them a little bit of slack there. Watkins, you mentioned, has been hot. He's given up 8 hits over his last 11 innings pitched, 1 earned run in the 2 starts since being recalled from the AAA squad. And even if it gets to the very end and, Texas is up by a run or two, I can count on Joe Barlow to blow the save, can't I? So I have more than one ways to win this game. I love this spot. Official play for me, money line Orioles. Get it.
I like that. I like it. Little money line price. I kind of said the same thing too. It's really all about just betting the AL East teams, because even though the Orioles are bottom, they're still just better than a lot of teams. Honestly, if they're in a different division, maybe they could even compete for like a wild card spot. But they're just gonna get smacked around by teams like the Yankees, us, and the Blue Jays. So, and by the way, shout out to my father, Jimmy the Bag, watching the show.
Your
shout
dad
out.
is here, and he knows better than anybody that the Omicron is the only one. And
Yeah.
you shouldn't underestimate him. So I'm backing Omi to get it done tonight and continue to swirl around the DNA of Glenn Otto and an auto fade, as you say, the Rangers.
That's a good nickname. I can't
love
I can't bet on you if you've got a good nickname like that. Auto fade. Sorry. Yeah, I also like that team total for the Orioles as well. A lot of chatter about that in the comments. I like that too. Let's talk about these Nationals Phillies as well here. Josiah Gray, Aaron Nola. Every time I write down or I look at Aaron Nola, I have to remind myself it's not Austin Nola. It is in fact Aaron Nola. Austin Nola is not the pitcher; he is the catcher. In that situation, I'm glad that they had a very symbiotic relationship when they were growing up as well. But I think it's going to be an interesting spot, and I think this was the second game that my father Jimmy the Bag was referencing earlier when he said, "You take the Cardinals, take the Nationals, hope you go 1-1, enjoy your little profit there, and you get out, scot free. You go 2-0, then you're having a real nice day. You are paying for the strippers that night if you get both." So I kind of. I like where you're going with that, where Josiah Gray, I'll pull up his home road splits right now because I didn't write them down. But Josiah, wow, look at that. This is when the computers are starting to get too smart. I just write in Fangraphs and Josiah Gray automatically pops up. They're listening to us. Damn.
They are.
Big brother. Big brother, damn it. Fox News they're gonna use this as the tape. Seamus, thank you.
We need to be wearing like tinfoil hats. I think we've already gone through a number of conspiracy theories, and this isn't even that unnamed podcast I used to be on.
Yes. Shout out to that podcast.
Shout out to those replays if you'd like to go back and
just listen to Seamus argue with someone that believes the world is flat.
It was a good show. Yeah, I mean, I really should send that link out again. There was a flat Earth guru who all the hundreds of thousands of really dangerous people.
The most confident human being ever, too. The most confident human being I've ever met in my life. I think the funniest part, now that I'm remembering it a little more, was at one point you were like, so the pictures of the Earth, those are all fake, and without hesitation, he said 100%, 100% fake, not 80%, not 85%, 100%. The world is not flat. So shout out to him.
Galileo, all bullshit. Everything you've come to know, completely throw it out. Listen to me. Look I did this experiment using foam balls and string. Watch this.
You can see the horizon. Why is everything not dipping over the horizon?
Amazing. He argued that the world is flat better than I could have argued that it's round, and he did.
He did. After that podcast, I was like, you know what?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a second look.
I need to look again. I need to look again at the pictures.
I'm going to see if they let me fly straight until I get back to where I started, or if it's all a conspiracy.
Yeah, you know what? Derek Pata, fellow Venezuelan in here, asking the good questions. Does jet fuel burn steel beams? Who knows? The people are asking.
Oh, no. Don't let's go down this road. Come on.
This is not the conspiracy podcast.
9/11 talk, dogs, kids, and soon Little League stories, but also sports picks. So Josiah Gray, he's let me pivot. Let me pivot to this game ever so slightly. Josiah Gray, middle of the road pitcher. Definitely had a really good start to the season. I think he's got a lot of potential. He pitches correctly. He doesn't walk anybody. He comes right after you with his stuff. Very low whip to back that up. ERA sub-4. Good pitcher. Definitely, I would say, a value spot. I'm just not looking to fade Aaron Nola in the form that he has been. I mean, he's, what was it, let in 2 or fewer runs in his last 4 starts. He blanked the Nats last time out. This is actually a rematch. These two faced off on the 18th of June. I believe Philly won that game 2-1. Or I might have that backwards. The point being, not a lot of offense. Gray and Nola both blanked their opponents in the time that they were in. I think Nola went an inning longer. Gray went 6 runs. Low score. So on that note, I jumped all over under 4 first 5 official play.
I really don't hate that. I really don't hate that. I mentioned the internet when we got on that tangent when I was talking about Josiah Gray's home road splits. Home, a 6.42 ERA, away a 2, just a straight 2 ERA, and about 40 innings pitched on both sides. And like our friend or pal, my dad, Jimmy the Bag, mentioned, Aaron Nola's home split 4.25 on the road. Excuse me, at home. So the splits are on your side. I've been using them the whole year. Jimmy has started using them recently. He's like a little bit of a bigger sample size. I just don't give a fuck, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been using them the whole year, and it's been working ever so slightly. It's definitely can hurt you sometimes. And you'll have to realize, like, if you're, for example, Shohei Ohtani, his home road splits might be a little off, but he got crushed in the Yankees start in the Bronx, so that'll obviously boost it. So just keep all those factors in mind when you're thinking about.
Anytime you're looking at a pitcher's history and you see like a really bad start and there's an NYY next to that, just throw it out. Just throw it out. There's nobody that team can't destroy. They're number 1 in power, number 1 in runs scored. I mean, 1 through 9.
Talk them up, Seamus. Talk them up. Talk them up.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but I mean, the Yankees have a squad right now that it's going to require like a serious bus accident for anybody to really have any sort of hope.
Well, let me tell you, Seamus, I want them to be boosted up. I want them to be everything, because then when the playoff comes, they're just going to turn into fucking the pumpkin again. Cinderella's going to be fucked. And Seamus, I promise you, people saw me confident with the Red Sox or with the Warriors and Celtics. It will be triple that when it's Red Sox Yankees.
That's not a good sign.
It will be triple that confidence, and the hurt will be quadruple if it does go that way.
How surprised were you that the Celtics didn't have any plays, though? Wasn't that very? How did I not notice that before? I was right there with you, making an ass of myself. Talking up the green. This is the best team in the NBA. I really did believe it, and they were completely exposed the last 4 games. What the fuck did I watch? I don't understand. Like, there was no plan. There was no fucking plan. I mean, not having a legitimate point guard really bit him, I think, is what happened.
Well, Seamus, I'll push back on the legitimate point guard. I believe in Marcus Smart still.
I think he's a 2. He's a 2.
I believe in him. He's a 1. I have faith. He's a good passer when he wants to be. But what I forgot to factor in my calculations was people get tired. So when you play as many minutes as literally anyone ever, regular season and postseason, it turns out you get tired. And that's what I'm going to rely on to excuse Jason Tatum from having one of the more pathetic finals performances of all time. But again, this is not a basketball show, and the NBA is fake. Thank you, Wallaby King, for reminding us that.
It is. It's a combination of sport and performance art. I will agree with that. But I'll tell you one thing: the Celtics would not have gone out and got Malcolm Brogdon if there wasn't some truth to what I'm saying about a point guard. So trust me. They're going to be in much better position next year, but it's just a shame we got that far. I really wish we would have failed sooner if it was going to be like that. I just don't want to shit down my leg if I get to the big dance. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, Seamus. That is the first time in my coherence that a Boston team has lost in the finals that I support. Not the Patriots, obviously. I'm not counting them. But that's the first time that's ever happened to me. It hurt.
It hurt, didn't it? So now you know what it was like for me growing up in the 80s in
That's why.
Boston.
That's why you have a fear of the Yankees. I
Right.
do not. I have never seen the Yankees beat the Red Sox in the playoffs. The last time they did it was 2003.
How old were you in 03?
I'm a 97 birthday, so six, I guess. Is that math?
Yeah, that didn't bite you the way you weren't laying on the ground staring at the ceiling with tears running down your.
No, and I would have. What that version for me was Evan Longoria in game 162. I fucking hate Evan Longoria and Dane Johnson. I fucking can't stand either one of them. Evan Longoria apparently is like the nicest guy ever too. I fucking can't stand him. I fucking can't stand him. I hate him so much.
You shit right in his cornflakes.
Yeah, so fuck him. But no, I appreciate the Aaron Boone home run. Seamus, I appreciate it because that one home run let Aaron Boone have this job. Without that one moment in his career, he wouldn't have this job. And
what is that doing for us? What do we give a shit if he works?
Yeah, well, he's a shitty manager, so he makes the
Yankees. Okay, yeah, right. No, you're right. Okay, no, I see where you're going with that. He can potentially Kevin Cash himself out of a World Series. I don't think you can do worse than Kevin Cash, which is a great pivot, by the way, to the Rays.
It is. And you know what? What's making me a little worried, Seamus? This was minus 130 earlier for the Red Sox, and I got I have their money line. I think it was minus 129. I'm betting with the bag. Let me double check. No, it was minus 125. Excuse me. I had a full game money line minus 125, and it did the same thing yesterday. Dropped down a couple cents to 122 now to the Red Sox, 102 now to the Rays. I'm a little worried. But I did say when I bet this was my biased piece of shit bet of the day. I'm on Red Sox first 5 minus a half at plus 105, I believe it was, and Red Sox money line at minus 125. I absolutely am putting all my emotional I don't even know how to say it. I'm putting all of my eggs in the Brian Bayo basket.
Okay.
And if he hurts me tonight, I'm going to be needing to be picked up off the floor because I'm very excited. I don't know if you saw this, Seamus, but yesterday on the Red Sox broadcast when they were introducing him and saying like, oh, he's pitching tomorrow, they just the whole time they were just, big zoom in on Pedro's retired number the whole time. So keeping expectations low, keeping them low.
Yeah.
But
we right away want to compare a rookie sensation to arguably the best pitcher of the modern era. And I want to do it too. I'm excited about this, Brian Bayo. I was telling you earlier backstage that I'm not far from Worcester. We go to a lot of games there, and I tried like hell, but we're just so busy with my own son's baseball, we couldn't make it out there to see him pitch. But here he is in the show. Everybody knows who he is, and especially if you play the video games. I know my son plays the MLB The Show, and he's a big character in this. Everybody knows about this kid already. Everyone's already expecting big things from Brian Bayo. He hasn't pitched in the major leagues yet. I'm telling you, you look at. I'm not speaking from experience, but I kind of know baseball. This is a big jump, my friends. This is different. It's different. It's not going to shock me if he has a great game, but it's really, really not going to shock me if he gets blown up. Look, this is a debut, and this is where you want to fade the steam. And I'm not going to be on the Rays, but I understand the sentiment, and I think that's why you're seeing a lot of money pouring in on the Rays late, because this is purely your sentiment exactly. This is the public going, this is the guy, he's Pedro, he's this. Let's jump all over the first 5, and that's what pumped it up to 130. And now you're seeing that come back a little bit. I think there's line value here on the Rays. But, I mean, the Red Sox overall playing excellent ball. I don't have a feel one way or the other on this, but I don't think I'd be willing to lay juice on a debut. With that said, I will be watching this game with anticipation. Probably the most excitement I've had for any regular season game this season so far.
I agree with you. I said the very same thing. Dave Beckett trying to hurt me with his words here. He's saying the Red Sox are going to miss the playoffs. Dave, if that happens, Dave, I will need to be consoled for a long time.
And Jimmy, I know that you're watching, and you were really concerned about what paint swatch we were going to pick for the background. And so I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing behind with this very kind of monochrome grayish theme. But
freshly painted. Are you inhaling all the paint fumes as well?
I must be because that had nothing to do with the game. But I
know I like it. I like it. This is the say hey plays you get. And by the way, Michael Irvelina, you have not missed the Little League World Series Little League story yet from Seamus. That's going to be happening at the end of the show. I will say this, the last note here, because we're both biased fuckers, obviously, even though you did say you could understand the race. So shout out to you and all that stuff. Brian Bayo is the first Red Sox starter to come up that's 23 or younger. Do you know who the last Red Sox prospect younger than 23, younger than, all that stats, with the last guy the Red Sox brought up start a game like that?
Clemens?
No. This last guy in 2015.
Oh, in 2015, last guy. Heathcliff Slocum. No, I don't know.
Oh, no, that's a name right there. That's a name. I like going there. No, in 2015, it was our good friend, Eddie Rodriguez, Eduardo Rodriguez.
Everyday Eddie.
And you'll know this one. I like this name. I said it earlier on the show, and no one understood who it was. But Henry Owens also in 2015 as well. Henry Owens, great, a Red Sox name that a lot of Red Sox fans will remember. I thought he would be an ace. Mistaken.
Where is he pumping gas now?
I think he is literally pumping gas as a gas station attendant.
He's at that Citgo right under the sign.
Oh, I can't wait. I hope to get to be there. By the way, I have a little list of Red Sox pitchers that are 23 and under. It is Alan Webster, Edwin Escobar, Felix Dubront, Junichi Tozawa, Justin Masterson's on that list, Clay Buckle, John Lester on that list.
Wow.
Little Casey Fossum, a little throwback there if you remember. And
I remember Casey Fossum.
Of course, Soo Kim, of course.
Soo Kim. Soo Kim. Now he pitched out of the pen with what's his face, the other Japanese closer that we had.
Oh my gosh, his name's on the tip of my tongue now. He had a great walk.
Uehara. Oh, I love those. I love that Red Sox team.
There we go.
And they won it all.
I'll tell you, Koji Uehara. This has turned into just a Red Sox show, I guess. Yeah, but Koji Uehara, my favorite Red Sox closer of the closers that closed all of the World Series. My favorite. So
he was filthy. He had that. He had two dominant pitches, that changeup down and away and a splitter. Two very similar pitches.
Let me tell you,
they couldn't barrel him.
Yeah, the worst thing Koji Uehara has done for the Red Sox is not land Seiya Suzuki. He is the driving force. But I'll say this in hushed tones. Shohei Ohtani is a free agent after next year.
Ooh.
Koji.
I'm sure he'll be cheap, right? You won't have to mortgage the
$500 million.
Yeah.
Give him every penny.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be something like that. I can't see. I mean, this is a guy who, when you look at his overall stats, there's nobody besides Babe Ruth to compare him to in terms of where he is now in his trajectory going forward. There's no more valuable player ever, as far as I can see, just in terms of ceiling, than Shohei. So whatever the price tag is, it's worth it. I don't know that I want to see the Sox completely flush their farm system down the drain, because I think it's one of the stronger ones in baseball. But
like I said, free agent after this next year.
That's true. Yeah. No, they have cash, right? John Henry's got the money. What the hell?
It would be a real shame. Not my money.
Not my money. No, and he seems to be able to buy boats and,
he buys soccer players for Liverpool, which I also appreciate as well.
Soccer teams, yeah.
By the way, Ish Wiz asking a good question. How many push-ups I've done today? I think I say this often, and I don't want to be dramatic when I say this, Seamus, but I would rather die than do any kind of physical exercise. I think I would rather die than do just 2 push-ups. I'll do 1 for you, but 2.
The most money I've made at Mohegan recently. Actually, no, it was at Foxwoods. Was on a personal bet. Somebody bet me $100 that I couldn't do 13 push-ups, which I found insulting, and I cranked those out very proudly. So I'm adept at pushing up.
It would be a real shame if someone bet me that as well. It would be a real shame, and I'd hate to do it.
Well, we're getting together, man. We're going to be getting together in September for the next Red Sox Yankees series after this next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a fucking mess that day. I'm gonna be a fucking.
We'll be doing push-ups on the bar. Don't worry.
I will be a mess for those games. It'll be a fun time. Royals Astros here, real quick. I had nothing on this game. It's minus 290, so I'm saving myself from a minus 300 fade here, I guess. Yeah. But I understand Christian Javier is the hottest pitcher in baseball. I called Brad Keller a fat piece of shit last time out, and he pitched well. After praising him, I praised him the whole year. And I said he was going to be the best pitcher on the staff, and he was not. I called him a fat ass. I called him bad. I called him all these names, and he turned out to pitch well. So, Brad, if I have to motivate you like that, Brad, if you're more of a tough love guy, I will. For your sake, I'll do that.
I would say it's one of those broken clock is right twice a day type things with Keller. I think he was bound to find his way into a halfway decent start eventually, but
especially against the Tigers.
So this is a little bit of a step up game here for Brad Keller.
If he pitches poorly here, Seamus, I won't call him a fat ass anymore. There we go.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he appreciates that. He's probably hanging on your every word.
I'm sure he's probably watching the show right now.
No question. Yeah, him and Heathcliff Slocum is sitting next to each other, taking notes and anticipating this Little League story coming up in just a little while. But Keller coming off his strong start last time. I'm not sure that that's going to motivate me to back the dog here. But at the same time, 278 or what is it now? Almost 300. That's just too juicy. My numbers had this game somewhere around like 220, 215. So just on principle, I'm not taking Houston. Although if you're on the money line, I'm not going to criticize you. I think that's the right play. I'm sorry, the run line. Astros 9-1, their last 10, running away with the AL West. Here's a good prop bet for you while it's still somewhat early. Christian Javier, Cy Young, plus 6,000. Why not? I know that his teammate Justin Verlander is the front runner, but we got a ways to go. And I'll tell you something, over his last 4 games, something clicked. So he's given up 2 earned runs or less the last 4, one earned run or less his last 3. 34.3% K percentage. That's crazy. That's like Nolan Ryan level. And similar to Ryan, he throws the fastball over 60% of the time, and he's still just dominating. So you're going to get a couple of fastballs, and you still can't hit it. I think Nolan Ryan when I think of this guy. And if he continues throwing the way he is right now, there's not going to be much denying him. And at plus 6,000, there's a value play there. So next time I think of it, I might throw a couple of bucks on that future. But for me, I don't believe the Royals are going to muster any offense at all against Javier. The only question is whether or not they're going to beat the living shit out of Keller. I'm going to hope that Keller doesn't completely shit down his leg today and take the under 8. That opened up at 8.5. It's now down to 8. I could see more money coming in on that under. I think that's a strong play. Under's hit 9 of the last 12 Kansas City road games. 18 of the last 23 Stros games versus teams with records sub 400 have gone under, which is to say that they somewhat play down a little bit, not trying to blow out teams that can't defend themselves. So I like it. I like under 8 here. Final answer, official play.
By the way, our friend Jimmy the Bag here likes the first 5 under 4.5 here. Seamus, you're on the full game under. Do you also like the first 5? I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I love it. Under 4.5. I don't think I can get that anymore, though. And I think that was what swayed me to the full game, because I think I looked at first 5 and it was either really juicy or unavailable across the board in all the books I was looking at. So I love that play under 4.5, Jimmy.
There you go. The official Seamus stamp of approval. By the way, Jay Peasy saying he sees a 7.5 juice to the over. So,
well, it's going to be juice to the over because it just bumped, so it'll continue to move.
so there you go. Very interesting. Very interesting. Maybe this is a wait, and see what happens. But we'll see. I don't know. I've got a interesting thoughts on that game from the chat from you, Seamus. I'm not moving on it. My last note here, just to push off this game, Astros against righties. They are. Let me double check here. They're first against righties in the last 2.5 weeks. I even wanted to look and to see how they did the last, from the last month until today. It's the second 133rd. And let me double check. Against righties at home, they are first 146.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't believe in Brad Keller, truthfully. But this is also me getting him motivated so he pitches better, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to be shocked if it's 8-0 in the first inning. It's going to suck, but take my medicine, I guess.
Yeah, plug your nose and go do it.
Yeah, but I'm just not going to lay that much juice to take what I think is more of a 2-1 at nearly 3-1 at this point. So I'm priced out of the run line, but that would be the play I would want to make.
Okay, I agree with you, and I also like the reverse run line on the Royals today. Low total makes a whole lot of sense. +1.5 at plus money. Next game on our slate here, and let's try to cruise through these, I guess, because I want to hear.
Of course,
I need to hear it. Giants, Diamondbacks here. I've got nothing here. I could see why you could lean towards an under here as well. Kelly has pitched well. Cobb has had his moments of pitching well. He's come back off the IL, 2 good starts back to back. Offenses don't inspire anything either. 22nd against righties are the Giants. 14th are against righties are the Diamondbacks. But I think that number is going to fall for the Diamondbacks, and it'll come down a little lower. So this was a pass game for me, but a full game under 8.5, I wouldn't hate at all. My hesitance would be it being in Arizona in a hitters friendly ballpark with all the conditions there. So a pass game for me, at least hitter friendly conditions, I should say.
Yeah, hitter friendly conditions, and the Diamondbacks are tearing the cover off the ball right now. They're hitting it, and the Giants are not hitting anything. They're not scoring runs at all. They've lost 9 of their last 11 games. This opened up -145. It's bumped down 10 cents. Always my antenna goes up when I see a mid-range favorite start to fade. I look into it, and lo and behold, the Giants are scuffling. Merrill Kelly is a very quality pitcher. Another guy similar to Josiah Gray, somebody who's got plus stuff, not dominant, but definitely doesn't walk anybody. Low whip numbers, competitive ERA, competitive record at 7.5. I love the Diamondbacks here, and I'm on them official play. Diamondbacks +113.
And very exciting. Very exciting there. We'll move on to this next game because Rober is talking about fading Jose Urania. And if you got your Jose Urethra, that's a name I've been called frequently. My mom, that's my middle name, actually.
I know. I meant to tell you how sorry I am about that.
Well, it happens. It gives you tougher skin when you grow up, huh?
It's given you character.
It has. It absolutely has. Rockies, Dodgers here. Mitch White gets pushed back until today. Don't really know why. I didn't see exactly why, but whatever. He's been okay. He's been good for what you would expect from a guy getting called up, and it's all these injuries and stuff. Last time, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk for him. And then Urania, it was a little bit of Miller. He was in Milwaukee a little bit. The relief pitcher. He pitched okay. 7 innings combined, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run, 5 Ks, 3 walks. So sure.
Yeah.
AAA numbers, though the numbers are a little inflated, because I was going through them and he had like a 10 earned run appearance in AAA. I was like, what the fuck? His last 3 have not been bad. And I typically don't look at the last 3, look at last 2, but I wanted to see more of a bigger picture with Urania. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 4 walks, and then 3 1/3, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 3 walks.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's against AAA hitters who are not the Dodgers and not probably the best offense in baseball. But I obviously am fading them. I took out Rockies first 5 full game here. I don't believe anyone should be -300.
No.
Give me a little something, Arena. Give me something. Give me.
No, I agree. This is just typical of what the sports books do. They push you out that you can't bet the teams you want to bet on. I can't take the Astros. I can't take the Dodgers. Same reason. The price is just too crazy. At the same time, I just can't back urethra. I'll be rooting for you though, but that is obviously not a big winning spot. But I think long term, at this number at 255, I think long term you come out positive. I know for sure you bet minus 320 on the Dodgers and continue to do so, you will lose a shit ton of money. That much I know.
Yes, and that is kind of what this theorem is based off of. I've seen too many times. If you fade the minus 300s every time this year, you'll come up positive units. You'll be 8-20, but you'll be up 5 units. So
you'll be up $5 is more like it. Yeah,
exactly. Hey, I'm doing it. I'll do it every time. I'll fucking see how it goes here. It's been every time since the Pirates series, and never forget that. Never forget when my third eye opened. That's when my third eye opened, and I became a Pirate that day. And I finally got my bootstraps.
You got your buckle shoes on?
Yes. I look like a pilgrim nowadays, but
I picture you in buckle shoes, and I expect as much when we get together in September.
You will be surprised. You will be surprised at the lack of buckles on my shoes.
Wow. Yeah. Now that'd be amazing if I saw you coming down looking like a Thanksgiving prop.
Yeah, just a pilgrim.
True New England fashion. I like it.
I'll have a hat, and it'll just have a large, oversized one buckle on it. Why is there a buckle on a hat? I don't know, but that was the style, and it was really cool.
I can't tell you too much about that, but I can tell you that sometimes parents really want their kids to win Little League games.
Yes, they do. And Seamus, we're going to talk about that. And I'm very excited. Let's recap our plays real fast, because ultimately people are here for the plays.
They are.
Analysis and all that good stuff. And after our plays, we'll talk about Seamus's wild and wacky Little League story.
Wild and wacky indeed.
I cannot wait for it. But I'll go through my plays here. Almost all of my plays are the exact same here as if they were earlier this morning. Follow me on Twitter at Jose Bouquett to see the full list. Only addition I'm making, and shout out to Tuate Latte, first 5 team total over 1.5 for the Pirates. I forgot, or I guess I did not write what the odds were. I think I got minus 115 for that. So that was my only addition. The rest of my bets or my plays are on my Twitter at Jose Bouquett. So follow me there. It's a very long list, so follow me there. I won't waste the time because I want to hear Seamus' story. But Seamus, let us know what you're on first.
So for me, I've got 5 plays. I usually have a card somewhere between 3 and 5 plays, but that's not a rule. I don't like to have too many more than that, so I'm kind of at my limit. I have Mets run line at minus 105. We've got Aaron Nola and Josiah Gray under 4 first 5 at minus 110. I think that's I won that in terms of juice. That's heavily juiced now. Baltimore, we got that on the money line. I had that at minus 108. I've got under 8 in the Javier Vazquez game. We're hoping that Keller doesn't blow that for us. And I love the dog play here with the Diamondbacks, fading the 2-9 over their last 11 games Giants. So that's it for me.
Jimmy adding his additions in the chat there, a little Nationals, first five under, and the first 5 under in Houston, Kansas City. I will admit, Jimmy had me on the show today. And as one does when you're hosting a show, you're looking for your guest to give you some insight, maybe some plays that you like, and maybe you like and see them. Jimmy, I'm sure I gave him 0 insight or 0 help today, but I'm glad that he's finding the plays as well. So shout out to Jimmy and shout out to him. He's gonna go feed the children. So that is
feed the kids, baby. Do it.
All right, Seamus. This story has been building up for weeks now. Weeks now.
Yeah. I'd love to tell you that it's met some resolution as well, but no, it's even more awkward than when it first happened. So
Okay.
How do I give this justice? A little bit of background. So this drama happened between myself and I guess my family and somebody who we know very well. This is a neighbor, somewhat. He's like a street
next
over.
door?
Not right next door. He's like a street over. We carpool. So my son and his son, they're both plus players. I think I've talked about my son's a really good pitcher. His son is a great all-around player. Actually won the MVP for our league. I voted for him. He's that
Oh
good.
God, I love this. I love this part of it. I love the butter them up, grease them up part of it.
Oh yeah, no, I love this kid. He's a really good kid. He's a great player, and I really, in my heart of hearts, believe that this family that we were pretty close with was on the up and up. First of all, they're both doctors, which I don't know why. I tell this story a lot, but I guess you have some expectation that doctors are going to just like be good. Because you trust them. These are orthopedic surgeons, real doctors, that could hold your life in their hands. And you just think that deep down, they're good people, but not when it comes to winning and losing baseball games in Little League. Let me tell you. So like I said, they both play town ball and they both play AAU. In AAU, they are part of a pretty intense club and they have rules about pitching and you're not supposed to pitch. Before a big game, we had playoffs at the AAU. Okay, so that's the background. We're in town ball, though, and my son's team is facing his son's team. And it gets to game 3. My son pitches game 1. They win. Game 2 gets away from us. Now it's game 3. My son can pitch, but by doing so, he can no longer pitch in AAU. You follow? So we're fully prepared to explain that this was important to us to win this game, and we're sorry that we violated your pitching rules, and he's not going to be able to be available this weekend. We were already made this determination. Well, this guy, who I thought I knew, emails my son's baseball coach. Now, keep in mind, I know this guy. I know this guy very well. Like I said, we carpool. We've been to each other's houses. We're very good friends, I thought. He emails my son's baseball coach to say that he's concerned about my son and how much that he's pitching, and that he'd made a covenant with the AAU team and he doesn't know how to reconcile his values with his son and what he tells him about making commitments to what's about to happen tomorrow night. And won't you please consider benching Josh for the good of, I don't know, doing what's right for the AAU program, and so that he doesn't pitch too much or hurt his arm, all this nonsense. So that was the narrative that he went with. That's what he was sticking to, and it got back to us. Don't think it was supposed to get back to us, but we all found out about it, and all hell broke loose. We ended up having not a one-on-one confrontation. We had a Zoom meeting with myself, the president of our league, the baseball coach that he emailed, the whole thing. And we just laid it out for him. Look, nobody listening to this story in their right fucking mind believes that you will be emailing anybody else besides me or my wife or people that you know about the health and benefit of my son, unless it was really about win-loss. Can you just come clean that you're trying to win a game and doing it in a very dirty, down low, nasty way? And he wouldn't do so. So this is where we are now. So that's the craziest shit I've ever had to deal with. I've got a guy I thought I knew going behind my back, emailing my son's baseball coach to tell him that he's concerned about my son's arm health. So there you go.
Well, Seamus, your son's gonna get clipped next year, apparently, with all the pitching he's gonna do. Tommy John ignoramus is what I'm hearing.
No one is more on top of his pitch count than me. I had no intentions of him pitching the next day or the next weekend or any of that stuff. Believe me, I can manage my son's arm health just fine. And if you for a minute think this had anything to do with him worrying about my son's elbow, you're out of your fucking mind. So.
Yeah, no, that's hilarious. Shout out to Dabby Cab, who's joining us, who former pitcher himself. He knows a thing or two about arm
Dabby
health.
Cab must have dealt with this type of shit so much. I'm sure he was a plus pitcher coming up. and you got jealous parents and, you know, vindictive, malicious parents trying to sabotage you. No, it's just ugly business. And we ended up winning the game. He did pitch and he did shut them out, and we did win the game, and we went on to win the championship. So fuck you.
Well, how did the AAU go the next day?
So he caught hell. He did. He caught hell. And we took our lumps. We told him, you know, look at this. It is what it is. It was important to him. And he'd be available the next week. Of course, we would have to win that week to get to next week to get to the championship. And we did. And he did pitch the next week. And we did win that championship too. Fuck you. And that championship came with a big medallion. It was awesome. So instead of
did you get to keep the medallion?
I didn't get to keep it, but they all took pictures with this big gold chain medallion. It was amazing. Yeah, Dabby Cab knows parents are the worst. It is. It's bad. But I tell you, man, you know, I expect that. And I could tell you a lot of other stories. I could bore you with stories about parents being crazy. But the thing that sticks out here is this is just, you think you know somebody. I mean, these are pretty legitimate people. Pillars of the community, well-respected family. Everyone in town knows these people, and this is what they were willing to do to win a game. So sad stuff.
It's interesting, you know. I had to. I think it was like it almost took like a 2 months appeal process, because people in my little league tried to basically give me the boot off of an all-star team essentially, for another child. And the funniest part about it was they did the what the fuck is the kid's name from the Little League World Series that faked his age?
Oh God, what is that kid? Now I can't do it.
Yes, they thought that I was pulling that. They thought I was Albert Pujols essentially. And
everyone is paranoid about Hispanic kids that get on the field. Like, wait a minute.
Hold on. I've seen bench warmers. I've seen bench warmers before.
What the hell is this? What's happening?
And the funny thing is, Seamus, I'm not a big guy. I'm fucking tiny. Yeah. And the funny thing was, I learned this. Seamus, I learned that American birth certificates, it's just like little certificate, one little thing. Venezuelan, you get a fucking packet. You get a full packet in full Spanish, and it baffled the whole league. And that was like a 2 months process. So shout out to Little League Baseball, always keeping things interesting.
In Real Deal Prime, absolutely. You know, you learn who people are in situations like that, and unfortunately, shit like that does happen. But a lot of really great, beautiful, wonderful things happen in Little League as well. So. It's mostly good, but when you're in the position that I'm in as a coach and as a board member, you see the worst of it too. But you don't think it's going to touch you, but it did.
That's interesting. It's very fascinating. As someone that I did have those good memories of Little League, but I've blocked them all out. I've blocked out all my memories of playing baseball. Yes, ruined. Just completely high school baseball and all that just ruined baseball for me. Really realizing I sucked. I was like, you know what? I'm all right with this game, I guess. So realizing
it's a hard game, man. I'm telling you. So my son's now playing district ball for the first time. He's 11, and I told you he's a standout pitcher, and that's why he's on the team. So for the first time, he's getting a taste of what district ball looks like. It's fucking silly. I mean, you're facing kids that at 60 feet can throw 80 miles an hour already at age 12. I mean, we've got kids like that are that talented, and they're pitching at 45 feet. It's like the equivalent of trying to hit at 110. It's absolutely, it's just different. You know, it's really, really difficult. So that's
why I did not fuck with hitting. Why I was a pitcher. No, thank you. By the way, Rodney Barton, shout out to him for getting the Daniel Monte. Daniel Monte is the guy. He lived out the dream. That's the dream. I just want to do that once. I just want to.
You want to be an illegal young pitcher?
Yes. And I want to just dominate a group of 12-year-olds, just throwing gas by them. That would feel awesome.
I do it anyway. You can be a majors coach. Nothing gets them more ready than to face live pitching than rearing back and throwing as hard as you can. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, you know, Seamus, I've got a free day in Boston while I'm up there. I might as well bring my glove, and I'll throw BP to your kids' team and they'll get some of the lefty sidearm action.
Yeah, we'll see if we can work you onto the diamond, man. That'll be a good time, man. Well, listen, thanks for having me on. This has been fun. I'm glad I could enlighten everybody with such an egregious tale of
baseball fuckery.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
interesting. It is interesting.
Too. And you got to meet my dog and my daughter, so I mean, you really show number 91 lived up to the hype.
It did. It lived up to being the cutest episode in Say Hey Plays history. Thanks everyone for watching. If you stuck around for the stories, the plays, just the general nonsense of this show is always interesting to say the least. So I appreciate all you guys so much. We'll be back here again tomorrow. We've got the Spin Doctor on tomorrow. So obviously the Spin Doctor, he doesn't wear glasses, but whenever I do picture the Spin Doctor, I think I do picture Dr. Jekyll. Is it Jekyll or Hyde? I don't know which one's the doctor.
I don't know, but if you want to talk for hours or if you want to buy him flowers, it's okay then, right? The Spin Doctor?
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. I think it's okay to buy flowers for any guy, regardless of the situation.
Is he married to Little Miss Can't Be Wrong? All right, enough.
Yeah, see, those are references I don't understand. I'm sorry.
You were like 3. No, you were not born. What year were you born?
97.
Yeah, that might be right. Like that song was coming on the radio as you were coming out of Vagina Hole. So.
Well, let me tell you, I also was not listening to English music when I was that age either. By the way, as the games are kicking off, and so the show is going a little long, Shohei Ohtani is shitting the bed right now, and it is officially 1-0 Marlins as he crosses the plate there. He gets the first out of the inning on a flyout. Guy on third base there. So Trevor Rogers, 2 strikeouts in the first inning too. So very bad start. Very bad start.
Marlins are a hot team. That's another thing. I don't want to fade teams that are on like 4-game win streaks. And they've been hot in general.
Marlins. I hope the Marlins get in the playoffs. Get in the playoffs. Let's go.
Why not? Get John Birdie that playoff look he so desperately deserves. And whoever else is on that team, I don't know. That's like the one guy that you would actually put on your DraftKings roster when you look at the Miami team. But somehow they're getting it done. Jazz Chisholm. It's like there's a few guys that can generate some runs on that team. They're definitely doing it.
I agree with you. Don't worry about that. By the way, the Red Sox broadcast just giving live updates on Chris Sale, just fucking in Worcester right now. So it's very funny. But let's wrap up the show, Seamus. We've been here far too long. The people have been waiting long enough. We appreciate everyone for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow with the Spin Doctor. And, of course, I'm betting with the bag. And until then, say hey.